on a non-happy camper. We're not getting a Drake album in 2020. And I can't even start with the LA Dodgers. It's on site. It's Sunday. Let's go. What's going on, everyone? It's on site. It's Sunday. I'm feeling good. A lot earlier in the day. I'm going it alone. But, hey, we're going to make the most of it. But we got to talk about what the hell. Well, before I even talk about the Dodgers, because I still need to get ready for what the hell I got to say. That game was great, by the way. But before we go into the World Series stuff, I want to talk about a post that was dropped on the on-site Instagram page. If you guys ain't following, be sure to go check us out on IG at OnSitePod. It's a lot of good stuff over there. Starting to build something over there, but that's all the marketing and promotional stuff I'm gonna have for that. But yeah, so we were talking about albums that I've already dropped, and I would say the biggest one that I personally am hyped for was Certified Lover Boy by Drake dropping an album. He dropped, and yesterday was his birthday, so he dropped a teaser kind of referencing all his old albums and all his old mixtapes and stuff. I believe I saw Nothing Was the Same. He did a cameo of that, a cameo of Take Care. For the life of me, I forgot what that mixtape was when he's staring up and leaves are falling. I think the motto was in. Actually, no, never mind. But anyway, I'm not gonna try to be all be 100% accurate with that, but yeah, pretty much. And then he teased that it's gonna drop January 2021. And at first I was like, because I would it's not the biggest of deals, and besides, hey, and hopefully Drake's gonna drop, this is probably gonna be a classic, but even then I don't want to give it super high expectations just out the gate. And because I knowing that people are just gonna gas that whole album up anyway. So, and just seeing the comments on Drake posts are hilarious, because you just see so many verified people just dropping fire emojis, or oh, this dude, do you king, this, that, and the other. It's kind of like the girls in high school who would drop a pic and then you got everybody in the comments all her friends just gassing her up like that. I'm pretty sure Drake doesn't mess with half of you, but that's beside the point. But anyways, it got me excited, and besides, it got me looking forward to next year, because 2020 has been a freaking wrap. It's been I can't even go in a year review or anything like that, but up to this point, it's been personally, I feel hasn't been the worst, I guess. But I mean, in the world, it's kind of I feel 2020 would probably be a little bit more. It probably wouldn't get so much flack if a damn virus wasn't going around, and we were able to kind of live as normal. And I feel a lot more positivity would be out in the world right now. And it's everything going on and all that stuff. And I feel it's been tough, but hopefully everybody's seeing through. Hopefully everybody's staying safe and all that good stuff. But yeah. So I would say that was probably Certified Lover Boy is probably the album I was most looking forward to. But I'm fine. A lot of my favorite artists have been dropping albums, and I'm more. And I know I talked about this on the show before. I'm more of an underground kind of. I love underground artists, or artists that haven't really been hijacked by mainstream guys yet. I know on the show when Cam, shout out Cam, who was on here, I'm talking about how I liked old school Travis Scott and and guys like that, kind of their older stuff, or the stuff that they were starting to get big on in the mainstream, and just rip them away and become their mainstream version of themselves. Because again, Travis Scott's been hightailing Astroworld for 2 years now, and even then, I said it then, and I said no, I don't think Astroworld was his best stuff. It was his most popular because of the amount of popularity it had just went crazy. And yeah, that was kind of the last. I don't mind the stuff he does now. I know he does features and he drops singles here now and then, but knowing that J. Cole Kendrick Lamar and Drake have albums kind of like on the way. I'm still like, and the fact that Kendrick caught me by surprise that he was gonna drop something, because we haven't really heard a whole lot from him since he dropped the Damn album, and that album was probably maybe one of his best, at least in my opinion. That was probably one of his best projects. But again, like, you can't disrespect albums and like mixtapes he's done, like Good Kid, Mad City, and a bunch of those other projects. And then Cole, I don't know what to expect from any of those guys. Those guys are all legends. So that's pretty much like, again, you know, and when it comes to like the GOAT talk and like rapping, like you can't. It's like, again, the same thing when it comes to like Michael Jordan versus LeBron. You can't talk about one guy's pros, or now you can't talk about two different generations, because obviously like the generation that grew up with like Cole, Drake, and Kendrick and guys like that, they're gonna say those types of guys, and then you can't, like, you gotta put respect on guys, like you gotta put respect on like the rap groups like Outkast and like Mobb Deep and those guys from back then, and even like NWA. Those guys are forever gonna be legendary. But like, yeah, you just gotta put like, that's why I just appreciate the stuff they have now, because we don't know how long. Because I understand Cole said he's probably not gonna keep making music for too much longer, and then like you got guys like Logic already retiring. So, and I mean, I always find it weird to find like musical artists retiring from music, because I feel like, I mean, you got people like Jay-Z and Beyonce, like that power couple. You got Jay-Z, the first billionaire in the hip hop world. You got this man, like, dude can drop something, and like legit, he just would make music just for the fun of it now. He doesn't need to, like, he's always gonna need to make money, but he don't need to make money by like producing music and stuff. Like, he has artists that he signs to his labels and stuff now. I believe Rock Nation, yeah. And then like he owns a damn basketball team. Like, dude is doing it all. Like, all these guys, like, I feel like Drake doesn't need to do it as much, like, just like Kendrick, like all these guys don't need to make music. They just choose, they want to, just to release that energy and release those messages out into the world, and just like for our enjoyment. So we gotta just enjoy the guys we grew up with, and then we gotta appreciate the artists that are coming up now, you know. So you got, and like you always gotta, like, again, you just gotta like respect the greatness that's being produced and being like sent out into the world, and just enjoy music. And like it was said on the Instagram that if 2020 has been good for anything, it's been good with music, at least in the hip hop world anyway. No, but yeah, let me know what you guys think about like, you guys hype for Certified Lover Boy, and any other albums you guys are excited for, and like, who do you guys think is your GOAT, or who's someone that, if like they drop on not the radio, but like on the radio or whatever streaming service, or it's just someone that they pretty much drop down your favorite artist down below, or even go hit us up on IG. But yeah, just changing gears now. Gonna be a little bit of a shorter episode, but you know how we roll. We're having a good time here, and yeah. But I gotta, first and foremost, gotta talk about what the hell's going on with them damn LA Dodgers. If you guys have, because I understand not all of you are big baseball fans, but you know, over here on this side, you got Jay right here. Love baseball, absolutely love baseball. And mind you, I wasn't watching the whole World Series Game 4 yesterday. Before I even dive into World Series Game 4, Dodgers were up 2-1 in the series, and they were down, I believe. Like, the game was just back and forth. It was crazy. Like, when those are baseball games, I would like, that would probably get casual fans hooked in, because it was back and forth. Like, when baseball gets back and forth like that, that's really fun to watch. I mean, people say that games are boring and all, like, it's stuff like it's about patience, but games like that, those are games that you would want casual fans to catch an eye on. And the Dodgers took the lead late in the game, and they were up 8-7, I believe, 8-7 or 9-8 or something like that. And you got it was Brett Phillips. He was kind of like a defensive replacement kind of guy, and pretty much he wasn't a very good hitter. Let's pretty much put it that way. He was kind of like a bench guy, and come into, like, he knows his role, kind of like a role player. And dude was pretty much, he was facing up a top closer in Kenley Jansen. Dude pokes one in the right center, and their center fielder Chris Taylor bobbles the ball. And keep in mind, there was runners on second and third, so the game was tied when the ball dropped. And you got Randy Arozarena, who was on second. He rounded third, and this dude fell and they had plenty of time to get him out. But the fact that the Dodgers catcher Will Smith wasn't aware that Randy fell, he rushed catching the ball and trying to swipe for the tag, and the Rays ended up winning on 2 errors, a base hit and 2 errors. And the fact of the matter is, it got me thinking. Well, first, because that was the part when I watched the game, the final 3 outs I watched, and seeing that happen, I'm like, dude, what the hell? Because the Dodgers cannot catch a break at all. And I'm saying this right now because kudos to those Tampa Bay Rays, but I'm saying this right now. If the Dodgers lose this World Series, and this isn't like hot take or not, if the Dodgers lose this World Series, they got to do something about their core pieces. Because pretty much, long story short, they're not winning a championship with this team. If they cannot win, this is probably the best Dodgers team we've seen out of all their years of making it in the World Series. Like, those guys are kind of like the New England Patriots, like when they were going to the Super Bowl every year. These guys are going to the World Series every other year, pretty much. And you got like teams that they've lost to who kind of haven't really made it back, except like the Astros or something. But these guys have always been in the playoffs for like, I believe, like the last 8 or 9 years, and they made it to the World Series the last like 3 or 4 or 5, I believe. But anyways, they're like the kings of consistency of getting to that stage. But they won a championship, and it's kind of been. If they lose to like a Moneyball team like the Tampa Bay Rays, man, I don't know. But that game was fun to watch. I believe Game 5 is tomorrow night. Yeah, something like that. But like and I know I posted that the fact that Randy Arozarena, I know many of y'all ain't gonna know that name, but that dude, he is a stud. And especially in the playoffs, he's like LeBron Game 6, for like, just to have a basketball analogy. He's like LeBron Game 6, but just all over the place, because this dude has now the all-time record for home runs, but it wasn't really taken as that big of a deal. This dude has hit more home runs in a postseason than Barry Bonds. Guys like Barry Bonds. You have, I believe, who else was on that list? Corey Seager, who's on the Dodgers, is also on there, but Barry Bonds was kind of like the most notable, because this dude was. That Barry Bonds was a monster too. I believe, who else was it? I believe it was like Mark McGwire, like Sammy, so guys like that, pretty much the steroid era guys. But the fact that this team, like, this dude came out of nowhere. The dude's Mr. October, Reggie Jackson kind of stuff. So like, we gotta, like, I just wish that, again, if there was just more eyes on the product, it would be taken as that much bigger of a deal. Because I guarantee you, if in the postseason, if Steph hit, like, he broke again, or somebody broke the all-time record in 3-pointers or something like that, or like the all-time record for most points in a postseason, people, like, that would be all over the place. People would be posting about that everywhere, all this, that, and the other, you know. But again, I feel like the best place to get eyes on the product for baseball is definitely the World Series, because especially right now, because I believe the World Series and football are like the only 2 sports that are going on. Well, actually, besides, like, including soccer, and I'm pretty sure among some other sports going on, like college football and stuff like that. But this is the best chance they have to kind of like get eyes on the product. And the Dodgers are probably like their best money-making team, or getting eyes on the product, because like you see people rocking Dodgers jerseys and uniforms. Dodgers jerseys and hats, excuse me. But like, yeah, like, again, long story short, I feel like the Dodgers are kind of like they've been in like purgatories. Like, they make it to the World Series, but don't have they just can't get over the hump. I'm pretty sure if they lose this World Series, Dave Roberts, who's their manager, is gonna get fired. That's gonna happen. They're probably gonna trade away some guys. But again, because like, how many times can you go run it back with the same group and just keep continuously falling short? So that's what I find very interesting about that. But yeah, if you guys want to see any of the highlights, just make sure you go and check on Bleacher Report or something. They probably got all that. They definitely have all those clips and stuff going on. So I appreciate places like House of Highlights and Bleacher Report reposting and posting stuff like this, just to try to get more eyes on the game of baseball. So that's a really cool thing. But also, just to kind of wrap up, just going and just touching on, I got notes here about other notable stuff I saw on Instagram. I don't even know what you would call this segment, but yeah, pretty much you got, so you got Onset. Dude got arrested yesterday, I believe, because he got into a run-in with Trump supporters. It was on his IG Live and stuff like that, and I feel like, guys, it's very important to vote. I'm not going to be too political here on the show, but I believe it's definitely important to vote. I already voted this year, and I hope you guys do the same. Get your friends, get everyone. Believe everyone who's eligible vote. Please do so, because it does make a change. Be the reason for change in the world, for positive change, please, and just love each other and be kind to one another. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. Also in the UFC, Khabib, the UFC fighter Khabib, the light heavyweight champion, he retired, I believe, yesterday as well in his final fight. And it says here, and most of this stuff is Bleacher Report as a source. Excuse me. Oh my God, that's a citation on my part. But yeah, Daniel White says that Khabib broke his foot 3 weeks before his final fight, and he didn't tell a soul. And I understand he was fighting with a heavy heart because he lost his dad, and that's, I think, the biggest reason for his retirement. So kudos to him. I never really watched his fights or anything like that, but I know this dude was just judging from how everybody else was talking about him, this dude was a really special talent in the UFC. So kudos to him, and prayers to him. And also, Dak Prescott still leads the NFL in passing yards, even though he had that nasty leg injury I believe a few days ago. But yeah, and I hope, and like just touching up on that, I'm not the biggest football fan like you guys may know, but I hope Dak does get his money, because I understand that was a big talking point on a lot of these sports shows and stuff. I don't know how, like, I understand if dude's really talking about like max dollars like this, then I'm assuming he's a very special talent as well in his own right, and I hope he gets back to what hope he gets back to his form or even surpasses that. And also in other news, you got LeBron telling AD during, like, not in timeouts, but LeBron tells AD that AD owns the Lakers, like that's his team, and LeBron even said that if he were to retire today, he would be all right with that. And again, just touching upon like the GOAT talk from last week, I think LeBron may have another 4 or 5 years. I mean, left in the league. I don't know. I feel like he would want to go on top, kind of like how, like, in baseball, David Ortiz went out. Like, David Ortiz was this absolute monster, and I think LeBron. If LeBron were to play at the top level and just retire, like if his last season, this dude put up like 28, 7, and 8 or something like that in his final year. If this dude's pushing nearly 40 and still putting that type of production, like I would have to give this man props and probably give him that GOAT status. And I'm not gonna put, again, I would have to put, he's definitely the greatest of our generation. And again, I said that last week. You gotta just respect greatness, and even then, I would just say that will support his case for other people. Like, that would jump his case because of the amount of durability that he has on that body of his that he uses, like puts like $1 or $2 million into every year, and that's just nuts. But yeah, pretty much a wrap. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. It's been fun. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. A lot of interesting stuff. Please, guys, go vote. It's only like the world's only gonna get better from here. So I hope everyone's enjoying and have a beautiful day. And I'll catch you all next week.